Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DDB'S Endzone Empire with your hosts, Dave, Dustin, and Brian, your source for the latest and greatest fantasy football info, wagering, injury reports, picks of the week, and more.
That's right, folks. We are here. This is AB's Bar, and I'm your host, Dave. This is my main man, Brian.
What up?
Hi. And this is my other main man, Dustin, over here.
What's up, people? I got a short night tonight. Uncle TT's going to be sitting in for me. I just need to blast Todd Monken real quick.
Get him.
Running the ball 6 times when you
Get
got
him.
the leading rushing offense in the league.
Preach.
All right, man.
Boom.
Booty. Terrible.
Making Lamar look bad
Terrible.
out there, man.
You know, they were supposed to keep Lamar, let him off the chain in the playoffs, but we didn't see that.
Man.
But either way, this is Super Bowl week. Next week's Super Bowl week. Yeah. The game we have to talk about, we have the Super Bowl coming up. We have next week, be sure to tune in. We will have all your prop bets. Dustin's coming strong next week with the prop bets. He's going to have everything you need to know about your wagering, and we're going to give it to you next week. We'll give you the breakdown next week. We're going to give you a little preview this week.
I think we need to break these games down from last weekend.
Well, you know what? I was wanting to talk about that too because I am, like Dustin said, I'm a little bit upset, Brian.
I think everybody is because I think everybody's bets this was probably the closest conference championship weekend I think we've ever seen as far as teams that could take the game and teams that could lose the game.
In recent memory, but I do remember a couple of years ago a wild game between Kansas City and Buffalo. That was probably one of the best games I've ever seen.
It really was, but I'm really going towards this Detroit-San Francisco game.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to start with this game because this was probably the wildest first half to second half. I mean, just to tell of 2 different halves. I've never seen a game like this before.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah. And okay, the Ravens run the ball. They are the league's leading rushing team, and by a wide margin. It's not even close. So what do? Conference championship? Hey, let's just pass the ball. Let's forget about the run. You know, Gus Edwards, he had a carry early in the game. It might have been the first play of the game.
No.
And it went for 15 yards. It was a 1st and 10. Okay? He didn't have another first down carry for the rest of the half. And then he had another first down carry the first play of the second half. You know, it's like, okay, Gus Edwards had 15 yards on his first carry, and then he doesn't get another carry until after halftime? That's ridiculous. The Ravens had 6 handoffs to running backs. They had 2 end arounds to Zay Flowers, and Lamar ran the ball 8 times. That's 16 total rushing carries for the whole game. They had 37 or 40 or whatever passes, and it's like I don't know what they're thinking. I'm a little bit upset about it. Yeah, you might know I had the Ravens in my money. So it hurt me there. And I like Lamar Jackson. I'm rooting for him. And I like their team. And they have a solid team, but they just didn't seem to show up. They didn't seem to show up on Sunday. And I know, Travis, I know you got something to say. So let me hear you. Let me hear you. What you got?
Well, I'm with you on that. It's pretty crazy to me. Like I said, you got the top rushing team that gets 16 total carries. 8 of them being a quarterback. And that's not hating on Lamar at all. I love him. But you only give your other backs 8 carries in a whole
6.
game. Oh, 6?
6 carries, and they had 2 end arounds
That was
to a wide
okay,
receiver.
Okay. I missed that. That makes it even worse.
Yeah.
It makes it even worse.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, and, the thing that I really dislike about it is you kind of put more pressure on Lamar in that sense, and then all the naysayers that are hating on Lamar look at the game, and then they go, "Oh well, look, see, he ain't worth a shit. He's not a good quarterback. He's a running back," and that's not really the case. You have to mix the ball. The running game will always open the passing game up, and that's never going to change. And you don't have a passing game without a running game.
And Travis, before we get to Brian, I don't want to add. I agree with you, and even I don't care if it's Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, or whoever. If you can move the ball on the ground, and you don't have to throw 40, 45 times, throw 30, 35 times, maybe 25, 35 times, right?
A lot better.
If you're in there, because now I want, instead of Josh Allen making 6, 7 plays a game to will us into the victory. Now he's only got to make 2. And that's a better odds, or 3, right? Yeah. And I like that. And for any quarterback, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, or anybody, I agree with that totally. And Brian, I know you have something to say.
I've got so much to say. This breaking down the whole season as it goes. Gus Edwards, I mean, there was a stretch of games where he had about 6 or 7 games, and I want to say in 5 or 6 of those games he had double touchdowns, to where everybody was putting him into their prop bets to in an anytime touchdown. And you know what kind of running back you have. So yes, 100%, you got to give that man the ball 10 to 15 times a game. So to put all that on Lamar Jackson, all I got to say about this game is there's 2 points to it. Kansas City came out, they scored 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. They set the pace, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then you look at Baltimore, 3-0 on turnovers. Right there tells you the whole ball game right there. But if you break it down more to where Zay Flowers, I mean, it was an inch away from being a tied ball game. Right?
Okay, there's a saying in football, and this is what they would call a cardinal sin for a wide receiver. You don't stretch your arms out for the end zone unless the game is on the line, unless it's the end of the game. You're running out of time because the chances are too great.
Agreed.
Had he kept it to his chest, and his momentum would have took him into the end zone, and I think he still would have scored. If not, he'd been on the inches line.
Yeah.
You know,
but I think if you really break all these turnovers down, the only one that was really crucial was the fumble outside of the red zone.
Yeah, but, the strip. It was almost a strip sack.
Okay,
yeah.
And then I mean, I'm thinking that they put too much on Lamar Jackson, and tell me I'm wrong on this, but I'm looking at this as John really wanted him to solidify his MVP of the season. He wanted Lamar Jackson to be the reason why they won that game, and that's why he didn't hand the ball off enough.
Well,
and that's why you pound the ball in the red zone. You are the Baltimore Ravens.
That was definitely a coaching mistake.
And you know what? You might be onto something there, Brian. And even if it was Hardball's decision, where it was coming from was Lamar Jackson, okay? Because Lamar Jackson, even when he was at Louisville, everybody told him, oh, he could be a wide receiver, he could be a running back, he needs to do this, he needs to do that, and he's like, no, I'm a quarterback. I'm not a wide receiver, I'm not a running back, I'm a quarterback. And he always wanted. That's why he didn't run his 40 in the NFL Combine, because he didn't want people talking about his speed, because he said, hey, I'm a quarterback. And I think that's all coming from Lamar Jackson, because he really wanted to prove to the world
that he's
a quarterback. He's not a wide receiver. Listen, yes, I can run. Yes, I can make you look stupid out there in the open field. But what I do is I'm a quarterback, and what he does best, he wins games. He wins games.
Well, let me break it down, though. Like, for the simple fact that I am a Louisville hater. I ain't going to lie. And I probably hate on Lamar Jackson just because he is from Louisville. But, man, look, but I'm going to give props to where they are deserved. And he has every year increased his accuracy and just how he performs as a quarterback. And this year probably was the best. And they really took that away from him by just abandoning the running game and making him just throw the ball. The defense knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's keep a spy let's just keep a spy on Lamar Jackson, and let's make him throw the ball. And it totally tore him up.
Yeah,
and
but the
Kansas City's D is totally too good for that.
Oh yeah, and the problem with the spy on Lamar Jackson is you better put your best athlete there, and he's probably still not good enough. Okay, it's tough to put a spy.
He's probably not, but I mean,
you can't go with a D end and try to spy Lamar Jackson. You're gonna make him look stupid.
I think we can all agree though they may actually have the best tandem at corner this year. McDuffie.
Oh yeah, no, Kansas City's defense
100%. I mean, they're going to lock up some receivers, and they don't have the big enough names to really that they're just going to burn them one-on-one.
No, and this is what Kansas City does beautifully is they pay Chris Jones.
Yeah,
and literally nobody else on their defense. They're all in their young contracts, so it's I mean, you have to financially plan this thing out. You have to pay a pass rusher.
Yeah.
You have to pay a quarterback, a good one.
Pay a corner.
You have to pay a corner.
That's it.
and then you need one weapon, whether running back, wide receiver, one weapon.
And they got off cheap because they got a tight end.
Clear something up for me. Did you say that the Niners don't have anybody that can hang with their defensive backs?
No. We're going KC right now. KC, Baltimore.
Oh shit.
No, it's all good. It's
Boys,
that's
one too many tequilas.
That's the tequila talk,
So,
man. It's all good.
Wow.
Hey, we are gonna get there, Trev. Don't you worry.
And in
about it.
case you guys haven't picked up on it,
That's what I wanted to start out with, so my mind's stuck on
But-
that. Forgive me.
Brian is a UK fan that loves to hate on Louisville, and that's okay, because I've got an apology letter already pre-written to Lamar Jackson where you can send it and you can say, hey, Lamar, you know what? I can check that I don't watch football, or I can check that I was just jealous of you, or you can check that I don't know football, or you could probably check like
I hope there's a section that I checked that I'm sad you didn't come to South Beach.
We could probably
Yeah.
I am, because I'm a Dolphins fan in and out, and I'm so
for me we could probably check the I don't know football. Being that I just made that previous statement,
there we go.
I got a little confused,
but-
fellers.
100% though. Lamar Jackson has improved. He has reinvented himself every year, and I think coaching lost that game for him. And it's hard to say with John Harbaugh
yeah,
that actually happened, but it did in that game. 100%.
it did.
They talent wise, I mean, if you look at the interception in the end zone when Lamar threw it in triple coverage,
Yeah.
which was actually a pass interference, and then you look at the Zay Flowers.
Are you talking about the very last interception?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm with Dave on this. They should have won by 7.
Yeah.
100%.
They should have won by 7. They had 2 crucial turnovers in the end zone. They had another fumble. I don't even think it was midfield. I
No.
think it was like the 40-yard line
But
going the other way.
Baltimore's defense came out flat, and they got scored on twice. Other than that, they own the Chiefs the rest of the game. So I think we can all agree that Baltimore beat themselves.
They did. But that is no disrespect to the Kansas City Chiefs, who played a great game, and also they look prime to win a Super Bowl. I don't know if that's my pick yet, but we'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah, it's
We'll
coming.
get into that
It's
a little
coming.
bit. The other game.
Let's jump into it. Come
The
on.
other game.
I want
other
this one
game.
bad.
It's just the other game, guys.
I want this one bad.
Well, that was the Detroit Lions versus San Francisco 49ers.
I believe they call this the NFC Championship.
Yeah, and
do.
Detroit was at home, and
Hey,
it was a rowdy
get it back.
crowd. And I think everybody in America with a heart was rooting for those Detroit Lions. They want that.
Yes.
They love the Cinderella story. And I don't know. Okay, maybe they're a Cinderella story because in years past, for a good amount of time, they haven't been that relevant. But they weren't really the Cinderella story this year because they were great all season. They had Dan Campbell really put the team together. Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator, they were calling creative plays. They were putting up points, and it was really fun football. And I think the future is bright for Detroit. I'm sad they lost, but and it was another one of the things I hate to say. Oh, he should have kicked the field goal, or
Bro,
no.
you
Here's the thing.
you motherfuckers.
Here's the thing, fellas.
My bad,
whoa.
my bad. You're about
Fellas.
to hear it, but Travis has
He
got it
should.
first.
Maybe you're right, but I'm not going to hate on Dan Campbell for that because that's been their identity all year. If you look at their percentages on 4th down of going forward versus kicking it, they have definitely succeeded numbers wise. It didn't work out this time, and I'm not gonna fault Dan Campbell for sticking to their identity.
I am
if you
here in a
will.
minute after Travis
I
gets
tell
done.
you, I'm a little flabbergasted, Dave. I'm a little. I don't know what I am right
Just
now.
give
I'm,
it, dog.
I'm
Just give it.
flabbergasted.
Give it. That's,
I used to go for 4th down religiously when we were kids. We would play Madden, and I remember they'd always say, "You should never do that. You don't do that."
don't steal my thunder. Come on.
That in that situation, literally, I love to go for it on 4th down, but that is the situation where you do not go for it on 4th down. You're talking about an NFC Championship. You ain't never won a Super Bowl. Well, what do you need to do? Well, you need some points on the board. You don't get any.
Yeah.
And then what happens? Well, we've seen the outcome.
Yeah, and you're right. It could come down to a field goal, or it could have just come down to the Detroit just laid an egg in the second
Let
half.
me break this down. Give it to me. Come
I'm
on.
just upset that Barry Sanders still never got a ring.
Look. All I got to say is, all right, we're looking at this game. Detroit's just killing them on every side of the ball. Offense, defense, special teams. They're just annihilating them. All right, 24-7 in the first half. You get to the second half. They scored 1 touchdown to 17. Okay, you're looking at a score of 31-24.
NFL's fixed.
You are in field goal range. A team scores 17 points on you in a row, and you're not going to kick a field goal. The momentum, you got to shift it somehow.
Well,
right?
and I do agree with that. The momentum, if you're gauging that momentum, that would definitely have.
You have to shift it
changed
because
things.
if you shift a 7-point game to a 10-point game, that's a 2-possession game.
Yep.
So therefore, you are going to totally just take the wind out of San Francisco. You're in San Francisco. All the fans are going to go down. I mean, you have to kick that field goal. In certain points, I guarantee it in the season. It's regular season.
Here's
Who
the thing.
cares?
To most fans, 3 points don't mean nothing, but in that situation, it meant everything.
I mean,
Yeah, and that's.
all of
I mean,
us-
San Francisco had 7 points in the first half, and they really busted loose in the second half. And to stop the bleeding, yes, I would have taken the points, even though I'm a gambling man.
Yeah.
But I can't fault Dan Campbell for sticking to their identity. They've done it all year long.
I get it.
And the
I get it.
numbers support what he's doing.
I get it because, like, right now, we would all be praising Dan Campbell right now.
yes.
Good job. Go for it on fourth
Call
down.
him a genius if it works out.
Here's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
here's the
Keep San
contract.
Francisco's offense off the field. That is the number one thing to do. But in cases like this, you're in the NFC Championship game. This is a Super Bowl. I mean, this is a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Sometimes you got to flip the script.
Yep.
Contrast this though.
What?
So you have the Detroit who sticks to their guns and does what they've been doing all year.
Exactly.
They lose out. Then you have Baltimore on the flip side who completely changed the script. They stopped running the well, I don't want to say stop, but they didn't run the ball as much as they had through the year.
And they win the game.
Well, they lost the game.
Well, but if they did.
Yeah.
Is that what you're
Yeah.
Okay.
So either way, both teams lost.
But one stuck with their identity and the
Yeah.
other one didn't.
Yeah. So it's a situational call. It's not about your identity. It's about what's best in that situation.
Well, I hear what you're
Bang!
saying.
I hate being right. You know, the producer said.
No,
the
no.
Producer
You know what?
said-
You know
the-
what?
Ho, 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 ho.
Trav.
Hey, hold up.
You're
the
not
producer,
right, though.
The producer is not just a pretty face who pushes buttons.
No, I'll agree with that. He does slightly more.
It is.
But no.
I like the situational picks that you would do in certain situations.
I hear what you're saying, but the numbers have supported all season what Dan Campbell's doing. So it's working.
True.
And when you're in the biggest situation, I know what he's thinking. He says we could stretch it to 2 possessions and maybe they could tie, or we could go for a touchdown and put them away for good. It just didn't work out.
But they
I
were
can't
on the
hate on 'em for
30-yard
that.
line. Like,
Well, you know-
like you are sitting there on the 30-yard line. I could understand that if they were inside the red zone, maybe inside the 10. Let's go for them. Let's make them go the whole field.
Yeah.
But you got the San Francisco 49ers, one of the most potentest offenses in the National Football League.
Potentist, is that a word?
I'm calling it
What
a
are you
word.
Oh, yeah.
Spanking
No, that's
Spanglish?
it.
I'm
It's
calling it
science.
a word. It is. But, I mean, you got Christian McCaffrey. You have all the wide receivers, and you got Brock Purdy that is behind a great offensive line. Like,
You don't give them that field position.
you do not. And they had the momentum. You are looking at 7-17 in the second half right now.
Yeah.
You have got to take just a little bit. You got to grab a little bit to gain a lot.
Yeah.
You have got to. And you know what? Detroit, I fear for teams in the future because Dan Campbell's coming.
And, you know, to touch on what Dave's saying, you know, sticking with your game plan, nothing wrong with that. I do think the future is looking bright in Detroit, and I am a fan of Campbell. I just think in that particular situation, you kick the field goal. As much as I love going for it, as much as I'm a gambler in that situation, well, not maybe that particular situation, but most other fourth down situations, you've got to when the NFC Championship's on the line.
Exactly.
You have to
and
kick the three, and you have to play that you have to play tactical
Yeah,
football.
and that's the
And
old
it-
school train
and
of
if
thought
this
is you
was-
never take points off the board.
exactly.
And I get it.
And
I do.
I've never been I've never been that old school philosopher. I've always been a go for it guy.
But on the line, when there's a big game on the line, I can see regular season, all that, which I'm going to be honest. I'm going to sit here and say I think Dan Campbell's a great coach.
100%.
I think he's
Yeah.
turned that.
Yeah.
That
Ben Johnson too.
I think he is.
offensive
I think
coordinator.
he has turned everything around in Detroit, and I think he's a great coach. And I'm not going to hang this on his career and what he's done
No.
there. It was a bad call, but I would be singing a different song right now if they would have made it.
I would be.
no for sure, but also I think the fans in Detroit, I'm sure they're hanging their head this week, but also
They're still happy about
they're
the
still
future.
yeah.
there. They're still in the hunt.
Look at
they're
what you got.
they're
Still have a
true
young
contenders.
quarterback. They have a young. Young everywhere.
True
so.
contenders.
Who thought Detroit was going to be where they were at the end of the year?
I saw it.
Yeah, we both
I did.
called it.
Did y'all call it earlier
Yeah,
in the year?
early. yeah.
I
Earlier
did see it.
in
I did not see this far.
Okay.
I
All right,
did
well,
not.
that I'll give you. 'cause
We
I,
picked Detroit to win the division for sure.
I've
though.
seen a playoff team, but I didn't see them
Exactly.
this far. So if
I
I'm
would
a
have gave
De-
them first round.
If I'm a Detroit fan, I'm happy with the year, though
Yeah.
I'm a bit upset about, But
having
I'm
the
not
game
gonna,
in the
I'm-
bag,
but
having
like
the
I
game
said-
in the bag and letting it go. Yeah.
But I'm not going to be upset with Dan Campbell because, hey, like I said,
Hey.
he's a good coach.
If I was Eminem, I'd be upset. Right?
Yeah. Okay. And listen, just to get back to it, I know why you clicked on this show. You want to hear about the Super Bowl. And listen,
Let's give it to him.
we're gonna give you a little preview.
Just a,
But I'm letting you know,
just a taste.
As the information comes in, we are subject to change our minds. So you should tune in next week to find out our Super Bowl picks, our single game parlays, our prop bets, and all that good
Parlays.
stuff.
There's going to be a lot of parlays, a lot of betting. I mean, that's going to be our next show.
What day are we going to release that?
Next Wednesday.
Next one? Wednesday!
Hump
So-
Day.
That's it. Hump day. Hump day. I like it.
So, anyways,
Ain't no humping around, bro.
nah, we're like Bobby Brown. We don't hump around. But either
It's
way,
your prerogative.
But let's just give them a little taste, but let's not go too deep into it.
okay, Brian. I don't know if you have in your notes because I surely don't. Do you know the over/under?
I don't. I honestly don't think it's came out yet. I think we're too far away.
I think it
Sounds like a cop out.
I think it was 47 or 48 or something.
But-
I don't know for sure. But I want to tell you, just early on, first look at this game, I like the over. I will tell you that. I like the over.
I'm 100% agree with
I'm
that.
also leaning towards.
Please say San Francisco.
I am leaning. I've told y'all that
Take
San
the over,
Francisco
take
was
the
going to win the
points.
Super Bowl for 3 seasons in a row. But right now,
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm leaning towards Kansas City. They are
Don't do it.
they are hot. They are playing well. Tay-Tay's got Kelsey back where he needs to be.
Whether
Dude,
you're
why
wait.
did you?
Wait. He
that
did
was
it.
supposed to be my opener for this game.
He's trying to cause controversy.
Why
right
did
here,
you
is
even
what he's
bring her
doing.
name up?
Okay.
I like KC, but I want them to lose because I don't even want to hear her name anymore.
I tell you what,
I'm
though.
sick of it.
I tell-
Sing songs. And
That's it,
come
but-
on, it's
but
like she
look.
dates the guy, and then we see her.
Look.
on TV.
Wait, let me tear.
I love Tay-Tay, by the way.
let me tear
I'm gonna
Dave
say
down
that.
here.
You
from
have
that.
just lost
Oh,
every
wait,
bit of
I'm gonna
respect.
tear
she
Dave down.
has.
You have lost every bit.
Has
of
the
respect.
Kansas City Chiefs?
Hold on. You have lost every bit of respect I have for you in this world.
That's
You
it.
love Tay-Tay. How many? You
Don't
mean
do
to
it for
tell
the
me right
show.
now that your
Wait.
boys and your
Dave,
mama?
Dave,
I mean your mama,
Dave,
your wife.
are you
y'all
doing it?
listen to Tay-Tay in the car? Is this what you're telling me right
Dave,
now?
No.
Dave.
Okay,
No.
so
Exactly.
you love her, or you just want to be the protagonist?
Oh, well, here's the thing.
Come on.
Just preach.
Don't come on.
I love.
Is this
what-
the host just
I
going
love
with what the NFL wants
Tay-Tay
to
is
do?
doing. Okay.
What-
Don't do
She's
it.
got
Don't do
the.
it. Don't
She
do
is
it.
the most popular woman on the planet. She's
Probably.
putting together billion-dollar tours.
Dude, stop. Hey,
She is what they call running the game.
Dave, this is an NFL show.
Okay,
This ain't.
I know, but y'all are
No.
trying
She
to hate
playing
on-
at halftime?
You're
or
killing
something?
me.
No. Okay, so
All right,
listen.
listen.
Let him keep
let's
going.
stop.
Let him keep going.
All right, go ahead.
Keep preach. Tell us.
No, I'm not going to talk about it anymore because the
Whoa,
thing
whoa, whoa,
is,
you can't go half into
okay,
You're killing me.
we love Tay-Tay and
No,
we
we
love
don't.
all of her fans too.
No, we don't.
I mean, I'm not saying I dislike her fans or her. I'm saying that when I watch football, I don't sit down.
It's about the players. It ain't about
exactly.
who's in the stand.
Every 8
No, hold on a
seconds-
second. Bull, poo-poo.
Go ahead. Who?
Who?
What?
You tell me back in the day, Spike Lee in the stands of the Knicks. You tell me back in the
I
day
ain't get
that
too
Jack
shit-
Nicholson and all the celebrities at the
Hey.
Lakers game, the Showtime Lakers, tell me that wasn't cool.
Okay.
The
Tell
only
me that
thing
wasn't
here's the
cool.
thing.
The only thing that's ever got me excited about a celebrity being at a ball game was you about a month ago telling me that Master P was at a Louisville basketball
Hey,
game.
Master P was there. I got pictures.
hey.
That's about it. That's all I got.
Here's the main question I have for you. Was Spike Lee fucking Patrick Ewing?
Oh, God, did he just throw that? He did
I'm
it.
just sorry.
Dude, Trav.
Censor that. Censor that later.
Censor, please.
But I don't remember.
These are reflections not reflected by the show in any means.
I know Spike Lee was not
Oh,
a
my
tall
God.
man, but do you seriously think that he was
Oh,
maybe
God.
performing fellatio on Charles
Oh,
Oakley?
God.
Or
Okay.
Pat
He's going
Ewing?
deeper.
So,
maybe a
producer
Johnson.
Travis
Give it
just
to
got
me.
his
Give
last
it to
mic
me.
job.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
But
Let's get back to
okay,
Look,
listen,
look,
I'm
look,
gonna
look.
reel it
Let's
in.
stop Palacio and let's stop Tay Tay and let's deep
Let's
back
talk
to
about the
this.
game a little bit.
That's
All right.
my point. That's my point. It's about the game and not about the surroundings. I don't care
Travis?
who's in the stands. I want to see the game.
All right.
Travis, I report the news.
Well, the news is wrong and it's fake.
Okay, all right.
That's what people want to know about.
Yeah. Well,
All right. Now
as long
let's
as it ain't fake news.
get back into this, and I want to ask Dave. Has
Producer Travis might get a pink slip too. We don't know yet, but we're still talking about it. We'll
He
figure
did
it
it,
out later.
The
He
only
did it.
one that
He
gives
pulled-
reprimands is the producer.
he pulled he did it? I just want to say it. But Dave, has Patrick Mahomes saw the defense that he's going to see on Super Bowl Sunday?
I think so. I think that the Ravens defense is about as good as it gets with Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith in the middle there, controlling everything. I mean, that is as a dominant a
Okay,
force as
I
you've seen a
love-
linebacker tandem in a
I love
in
the
a long
linebacker tandem, but has he saw a defensive line like San Francisco has? Because that defensive line is going to it's going to make or break the game.
I'm going to tell you right now, San Francisco, they don't get as much pressure on the quarterback as you might think. They are stout up front in the front seven, but the secondary can be exposed, and I think if somebody's going to do it, Patrick Mahomes can do it. I believe that you saw it last week in the first half of the football game when Detroit did it.
Hang on.
Mahomes
Hang on.
is the king of the broken play.
Hang on. Well, I think we can all agree that Detroit has a top 3 offensive line in the league, right?
Probably number one. but
Exactly.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at the KC offensive line, which
I know where he's
most
going.
of your beef is coming on the defensive line. So can they really handle that pass rush of the San Francisco 49ers? I don't see it.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have Fred Warner.
No, Fred
They
Warner's
have,
a beast,
They have
yes.
Greenlaw. I
Yeah.
mean, so you have the defensive line, you have the linebackers, you have the corners with Ward.
Bosa.
Okay, so I mean, this right now is going to be a defense because I mean, if you look at it, they did do good against the Baltimore Ravens, but
Who
they
had probably the best 2 safeties and linebacker.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
But
But,
the Ravens spent a lot of money on
All right,
defense,
but
and you can tell.
I'm breaking down their whole playoff journey here. They had a depleted Buffalo defense, was down 6 defensive players, starters. They had a Miami Dolphins defense that was down 6 to 8. I'm
I
not
think
really.
it was 8, but I might be wrong. You might be
Well,
right.
I think it was 8 after they lost 2 during the game. So-
maybe with the number. That
So I'm looking at this right now that Patrick Mahomes, like, I don't want to bet against him in the playoffs because him, Andy Reid, it kind of reminds you of a Brady Belichick.
Yep.
It really does. But San Francisco's hungry,
I,
and they've been hungry.
I hate to bring up old stuff, but I kind of feel like if the Dolphins wouldn't have passed up Lamar in the draft, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation at all right now. We've been talking about the Dolphins for the Super Bowl. For
No.
I tell you what,
The
if we
Steelers should have picked him up.
the Steelers, man,
if
come
we
on
look
now.
at decisions, then we need to go all the way back to where Miami should have picked up Drew Brees instead of Dante Culpepper.
And that's the thing. If ands and butts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry
like
Christmas.
that. I
That's
like
good.
that.
I've been saying this for years. Since Dan Marino, the Dolphins have completely botched every quarterback pick they've ever made.
And I tell you what, though.
And it hasn't changed, too.
You are going to hear it from here right now at DDB's Endzone Empire, but Tua Tagovailoa can take you to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. And Brian,
Huh?
I don't
Easy.
agree.
All right, let's move this
Easy.
forward.
I
He's
don't
talking
agree.
crazy. He needs to be in a mental institution.
Hey,
He is
Elijah
talking a little
Craig
crazy.
has not swayed my decision whatsoever.
Don't blame
but
poor Elijah.
You got a straight jacket in your trunk by any chance, Dave?
You know what? Maybe I might. You know what? I think I do actually. It's right next to the golf club.
If not, I got some wire, some
right,
THHN.
all right.
We could just string him up and tie him up.
Let's get back to the Super Bowl game for these guys.
Okay, so
act
Brian,
like-
if I last time I looked, I'm not sure what it is right now. This moment, I don't think it's moved, but it was San Francisco minus 2.5.
So I mean, we're comparing player to player right now, right?
What I'm wanting to know
We've already talked about the defense. Tell me
if
about
it's
the
San
offense.
Francisco. Well, you're talking about San Francisco's offense.
Yeah, we've already talked defense to defense. Let's go offense to offense.
Okay, well, you have Patrick Mahomes, who has not thrown an interception in like the
Mahomes and my
last
auto.
10 playoff games or something.
I like it.
Pat Mahomes is playing. He's playing perfect football right now.
I like it.
And also, he's really consistent, especially in the last several games. I feel like this is going to end up being a close game.
I do. I like it.
But I like the over. I feel like this got a 24-27, a 27-30 vibe.
Look, I want to touch on this. I just want to say that we told them that
He's gonna touch on it.
that this was going to be very brief, but I do like that. But are you going San Francisco?
For my bet?
Yeah.
Or who
Money
am I
line.
rooting for?
I mean, we're obviously going money line on this because it's hard to bet against either team because, I mean, they're just offensive-wise, defensive-wise. This, I mean, I hate to say this, that this might be the two best teams in the NFL right now.
Well, no, I thought that last week. I thought we had a good Final Four. I thought that was the best four teams in football this
honestly,
year
though,
at the time.
And I totally went against you, and I was overlooking the KC defense. And that's more or less, I think, what beat Baltimore. So let's look at it like that. And I think we have.
I'm going to disagree. Baltimore beat Baltimore, but either way, keep
They
going.
did. But KC's defense, you have to give them credit.
No, I do. They've been on fire.
Yeah,
They've been on fire.
And it's going to be hard for Brock Purdy, but I think Brock Purdy can solidify his MVP vote on this game.
He's not even in the running.
Who in this reality thought that when we were drafting fantasy teams, that
Please.
Brock Purdy
Tell me,
was
Trav.
going to be in a
Tell me,
Super
Trav.
Bowl?
Exactly.
Who? I've never. I mean,
Tell me, Trav. Like
who did he play for in college?
nobody's going to
Remind
tell
me.
you. Nobody's
Remind
going to
me.
tell you.
I'm forgetting. I've had a few
Please,
tequilas.
is it-
Who did he play for in college?
Ain't nobody here going to tell you.
I'm gonna guess Wyoming. I don't know.
He ain't no Josh Allen, baby.
SMU, I don't know.
But
Maybe he's the next Tom Brady. Who knows?
I'm simply saying, if he was
That's
Lamar
a stretch.
Jackson,
That's a stretch.
look,
I'm just playing.
Look, if he was Lamar Jackson, if he was Mahomes, if he was Allen, he would get the recognition of being a top tier quarterback.
Yes. Yeah.
And right now, he's not going to get that until he wins a Super Bowl.
Well, I
next
don't even-
year,
I'll disagree a little
Trent
bit.
Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
Here, let's break this scenario
but
down.
we
What
all
you-
know why Trent Dilfer won that.
Touching
Super
on
Bowl.
what you just said about him being a
Yeah.
prolific quarterback from here on out.
Go ahead.
Even if he loses this game, it's
Yeah.
really going to be dependent on next year. If next year he flops, then it's like, oh, he's a one-hit wonder. If he comes out and he comes out strong and he's strong for a few years and then kind of peters out,
Yeah.
he'd be considered a prolific quarterback. I mean, he'd be like, I'm going to utter these words. I'm not going to say it all. He'd be like a Dan Marino because he's
No.
never going to be
No,
a Dan
no,
Marino.
no,
But
no.
in the
Okay.
sense,
You
what
just
I'm saying,
killed it right there.
yeah,
Let's not
exactly.
talking too crazy now.
All right, look,
So,
look. But
the problem with Purdy, as far as what Travis is saying,
Thank
okay,
you.
yes,
Elaborate for
he
me.
does make good decisions. He's
Exactly.
in a good offense, a creative offense that often fools the defense. But when you break them down as a quarterback, Brock Purdy is a C+B quarterback at best. He doesn't have a strong arm.
Exactly.
He's not going to be the guy that's going to go out there and be down 21, put the offense on his back in the second half and come back and win. He doesn't play from behind.
That's why I prefaced it with
Stop.
That's why I prefaced it with it depends on what he does next year.
Hang on, boys. Tell me what happened last week.
Okay,
what happened last
week? They
week?
came back and won for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
but that was like the first time he's done it all year, and
that was
it wouldn't be the
home
right
cooking.
time.
Wait. On the big stage.
It was home cooking.
Hang on the big stage, Brock Purdy came back and won the game, and he outscored the Detroit Lions 27-7.
Yeah, I'm watching a game with my wife, and she says,
Dave just ate
she
his
said,
words,
I
dog.
can't believe they scored 21 points so fast. Like,
Exactly.
Neither can I.
I mean, it was right after
Okay.
halftime. Next thing you know, it's tied up.
I'm
We're
just
like,
telling.
"Whoa."
I'm just telling you, boys. Poise. Big games. Okay. Is it the coach? Is it the quarterback? The man has got it. It's not. It might not be a strong arm, but he has so many weapons, and Shanahan just puts him in the positions.
Yeah, he's
what he
like
does.
a Joe Namath.
Okay. He's
the guy that won it in the big moment at the big time for the
Wait, hang on.
reasons.
He's
but never,
wait, hang on.
Wait, Joe.
He's not a he's not a Namath. He's not a Flacco. He's not a Dilfer.
Did you just put Flacco in the same fucking conversation as Joe Namath?
Joe Namath had a bad career. He only had the one.
No. Listen.
He had the one game.
No,
Broadway Joe.
these are all the
Dude,
quarterbacks who
you
had,
can't never. There ain't nobody ever that been more fly than Broadway Joe in that fur coat.
But I'm
Well, Magic Johnson in fur coat was pretty
We're
fly.
talking about
That was-
football
that was-
here,
that was-
apples to oranges.
I'm just saying. All right, look, all y'all people who's tuning in, let's listen to this next year. That Brock Purdy MVP right there. Lamar Jackson has clearly won it this year. He has, because we're going off regular season and they're actually making their votes this week before the Super Bowl. But I think Brock Purdy is the number 2 runner-up.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like
Okay.
it. I like it.
So
He's
folks,
speechless.
so folks,
He's like,
Listen.
Look.
okay, I guess.
Look. It's one of them things. Dave's gonna bust my balls next year, or he's gonna agree with me.
He was very
it's-
reserved. on
we
that.
are.
You're gonna hear it next year.
We
Yeah, I
are
am.
going to give you
Tune in.
next week our Super Bowl picks. We're going to give you our weekly lineup picks. We're going to give you your prop bet picks and your single game parlays and everything you want to know about the Super Bowl. We will do it. But before we get into all that, I've got one question for you, folks.
What you got?
I'm going to catch you by surprise here. You're not expecting. What is your favorite Super Bowl food?
Oh.
Is it chicken wings?
I'm torn between two. And like I actually had this. Mom actually came at me with a top 50 trivia question of Super Bowl Sundays.
Yeah.
And I picked chili over wings.
Chili over wings.
I did.
Oh, nice.
I did because
Okay.
it goes nothing better with beer or bourbon is chili to me.
What do you like? You like nachos, wings? You like
know-
the chili dogs? What you going with,
What do you got,
Travis?
Trav?
I'm gonna go with the nice vegan menu.
Oh,
A little bit of
exactly. He is.
a little bit of
This-
tofu, maybe a bit of some of those fucking rice patties or whatever it is they eat. I don't
throwing
He
know.
it.
sprinkles Cajun seasoning on it.
Yeah,
He's got-
exactly. Give me some meat, boys. Let me get some of that brisket. Let me get some wings. And if it ain't got barbecue sauce on it, I
Hang
ain't
on,
want
hang on.
it. I don't want it.
If it ain't smoked, Travis ain't eating it.
That's right.
So,
That's right. Smoked
all right,
turkey.
what do you got?
smoked
What do you got,
chitlins,
Dave?
smoked-
So I just was gonna add that I am a chicken wing fan. That is my favorite Super Bowl food. But also,
Dave, where
don't
did you-
sleep on a good mess of nachos. And if you don't know what that means because you're from up north, we're talking about a mess
Hey.
of nachos.
Hey.
Boys.
That is
Hey.
beef. That is onions, tomatoes, sour cream, maybe some guac. You know,
Hey, I'm about to give out the best prop in the world.
Jalapenos.
And Dave has to make sure his old lady listens to this. But one of the best side foods,
Can you cook this?
Dave's old lady makes the best guac dip in the world, dog.
Boy, let me tell you
So
something.
if you add that with
me
some
tell you
chicken
something.
wings old Dave brought to the Super Bowl last
Hey, the key
year,
to good guacamole
Preach.
is a lot of salt.
Thanks, Mom.
A lot of salt.
Preach. Salt. Oh, I love
the
salt.
key
it's good
to
for
it
the heart.
is Molly's making.
Yeah,
There we
that's
go.
right. She makes it with
Molly's
love.
making.
She
There
does
it is.
too. She
It's
does
good for
too.
the heart.
I think I
when you
actually
have a
asked
lot
for
of
that for
salt.
my birthday one
And
year.
you know,
didn't
Molly actually, she enjoys cooking. It's like she likes to
I?
cook.
I think
so-
I actually
And
like,
I
asked
enjoy
for-
her cooking.
Yeah, you know what? I do too. I
Hey,
do
girl
too.
can cook, dog. That's
So
it.
listen,
So-
folks.
Hey! Don't sleep on Dave here, though. I tell you what, for my birthday, he made me up some beautiful gumbo. And we ain't even Louisiana folk. We Kentucky folk.
So wait.
He made up the most beautiful roux and just laid it out. And I tell you what, after I ate it, I got a little hard.
So hang on a second. Wait, was that for your birthday?
That was my birthday last
Okay,
year.
my
yeah.
birthday's in 2 weeks, and we're about to have a little get
Well,
together here. So I'm getting a little gumbo, ain't I, Dave?
You might want to have
Maybe.
him do a
All
little.
right, all right.
You might want to have Dave do a little Kentucky roux because I tell you what, it's not Louisiana, but it's very very close.
So we're getting Dave's Kentucky Roux, and we're getting Molly's guacamole. So
Yeah.
we doing Texas
We doing-
Cajun.
hedges,
Yeah.
hedges all the way. There we go.
So
Mexican.
listen, folks. If you've made it this far,
Your family.
your
Oh,
family,
definitely,
to us, and we
definitely.
sure
You are definitely this is part of this defunct family.
we couldn't appreciate you more. So look, share it with your friends, like,
Love ya.
subscribe, give us a comment or whatever you're
Throw
feeling.
us
Do-
out. Throw us
you-
your Super Bowl picks. Let's.
Yeah.
I want to hear them because we're going to debate them next week, anyways.
Yeah, and so tune in next week. You will have all your Super Bowl info, everything you need to know, what's going down. This is DDB's Endzone Empire, and we out of here.
Later.